semester, there will be 6 English speeches. And the first English speech will be the pre-test part. And during each of the students' English speech, they need to conduct teacher evaluation parts and peer evaluation part and self-evaluation parts. And the students need to collect all the comments from the others and post it on their e-portfolio. And as I just mentioned, the last English speech will be the post-test. And at the end of the semester, the student will need to fill out a questionnaire, and the data will be analysis by t-test. And as I just mentioned, for the e-portfolio parts, each of the students need to post 6 parts. The first is their speech outlines. Before their speech, they write down their outlines and have a discussion with their instructor. So the instructor may give them some suggestions. And during their speech, they'll be videotaped, so they need to post their videos. And after their speech, the teacher will give them some comments, their peer will give them comments, and also the finally part, the self-reflection. And talking about the self-reflection part, you need to conduct 3 parts. The student need to write down their feelings before their speech, and during their speech, and finally after their speech. And here is an example. This is the student's portfolio. As you can see, the first part is the outline, ideas from what did the student's idea come from. And now in the downstairs is the student's reflection. For example, how did I think of my presentation? How will I present if I had one more chance? And this is the videotape here. And you can see the teacher's comments and the peer comments. And next, I'm going to talk about the instruments in the study. The first one is the evaluation form. And many researchers have mentioned that self-evaluation and peer evaluation was useless because they consider that the students do not know how to evaluate their peers or even evaluate themselves. So it is very, very important that the teacher need to train to teach the students how to evaluate the peers and themselves. So the duration of the training section will be 4 weeks, and here we can see the evaluation form. It divided into 6 parts. The first part is the introduction, and the next part is the content part, the voice quality part, body language, eye contact, and dealing with visual aids. And the final part is the conclusion part. And if you agree with the statement, if you totally agree with the statement, then you can mark out 5 points here. If you don't agree with the statement, then you can mark out 1 over here. And at the end of the evaluation form, there's a comment place for the student and the teacher to write down their comments. And the next instrument is the questionnaire. And as I just mentioned, the question will contain 4 parts. First is the teacher evaluation, self-evaluation, peer evaluation, and the final part is the e-portfolio evaluation. And here's the example. Starting at the beginning is the topic of my own study, and then the directions for the students to understand how to fill out this questionnaire. And then is the personal information. And here is the first section about the teacher evaluation. And the second is for the self-evaluation part. And the third is peer evaluation. And fourth is the e-portfolio evaluation part. And finally, there is an open-ended questions here. Okay. And because the questionnaire is not designed by myself, actually I adopted from other researchers. And this is the main researcher whose name is Zhang Xiaoqi, and her topic is Paulinna students' perceptions on peer review activities. And the main questionnaire was related to the questionnaire designed by Chen in 1998. And the reliability and the validity part is about, for example, the learner attitude is 0.81, perceived affects is 0.85, review ability 0.78, group participation 0.77, usefulness of a peer evaluation is 0.69, and the learner motivation is 0.65. And the timing for this study is about 10 months, and the participants are 60 participants, and they are all college students. And next is the data analysis. I will use t-test to examine is there any significant differences between the teacher evaluation and the peer evaluation. And also to examine is there any differences between the self-evaluation and the peer evaluation. Of course, the last one is to examine is there any significant differences between the teacher evaluation and the self-evaluation. And the descriptive statistics will be answering the research question 2, the students' responses to the teacher evaluation, peer evaluation, self-evaluation, and the e-portfolio evaluation. And the last part will be the suggestions from my committee members. And first is there are many grammar mistakes in the thesis, so I need to work on my grammar. And the next part is the high achiever group and the low achiever group part. And as you can see, before I designed my participants into two parts, the high achiever group and the low achiever group. However, and I'm going to use this theory to pick up my high achiever group and the low achiever group. And we found out that the participants in each group, the number will be around 12 students, which means that it's not enough. It should be more than 30 students. So after the discussion with my advisor, we decided to skip this part. We're not going to divide the participants into two groups. And this is the end of my presentation. Thank you. Is there any questions?
Okay, 3 minutes left.